Hi, it's Kish, and this is Kish Talks Credit, where I share information about personal finance and budgeting. I share my personal experience and helpful tips for you to use to become financially healthy. So today I want to talk about 3 ways or 3 methods you do not want to use to get out of debt. The first method you do not want to use to get out of debt is by using your 401k plan, your retirement plan. Some of us may think, if I get into some financial trouble, I need a little extra money, I'm not sure where to get that. I have a 401k plan, right? You may have 50, 60, $100,000 in your plan, and you think, well, I can just pull from there because it belongs to me, right? Well, not exactly. Depending on your 401k plan's administrative rules, you may not be able to do that. You would have to check with your plan administrator. However, if you have a plan where you can withdraw money, there is a hefty tax that you will pay for that. If you are younger than 59 and a half, you will need to pay 10% income tax for withdrawing that money. Plus, it is a loan, so you would have to pay that money back into the plan. Another thing you have to remember when considering using a 401k plan to settle debt is how long are you going to be at the job that you currently have? If the job that you have now is contributing to your 401k plan, if you leave that job, all of that money has to be paid back. And that may not be an easy thing if it's a large amount of money. So that's another thing to keep in mind when you might be considering using your 401k plan to settle debt. One other point I will make about 401k plans and using money from that plan to settle debt, there is a thing called a hardship loan or a hardship withdrawal, I should say. And again, you would need to check with your plan administrator, but oftentimes a plan will allow you a withdrawal that you do not have to pay back in the event that you have a true hardship. Now, it would have to be a hardship that you would have to provide proof of. For example, if you're facing foreclosure of your home, that would more than likely be considered a hardship where you would be able to withdraw money to save your home. A second method you do not want to use to settle debt is by doing a balance transfer on a credit card. You may have gotten promos in the mail with statements like 0% balance transfer. However, you do have to read the small print. Typically, there is a balance transfer fee when you do that. For example, you might have 3 credit cards with a high interest rate of maybe over 26%. And you want to take all of those balances and transfer them over to this new card that has that 0% balance transfer. However, that 0% balance transfer typically is for a limited time. So for example, it could be for 6 months or maybe for a year. And after that time period, you will receive a interest rate of maybe 18% or 20%, 25%. So you do have to be prepared to utilize that time frame, that promotional time frame where you're receiving 0% and pay off that balance. So this may not be a good idea if you're not good at planning out your payment schedules for your credit cards. You may just end up right in the same position that you were in with the cards that you were transferring the balance to. So again, read the small print, know how long that balance transfer promo is good for. Otherwise, it may not be a good idea. A third way you do not want to use to pay off debt or to settle debt is by using a home equity line of credit, or a HELOC, you might have heard it called. It's something that's very, very common for homeowners to use, and it's very common for homeowners to also get in trouble with these types of loans. So if you're not familiar with what a HELOC is, it's basically a loan that you're taking out against the equity in your home to gain access to money. However, it's easy to get into trouble with this type of loan because you do have easy access to money. So having easy access to money through a HELOC, typically you are given like a debit card, and having that extra money and easy access to it could make it very tempting to overspend on things that may not be things you would spend money on if you didn't have that extra money available. So it's really not a good idea to put your home in jeopardy, basically, because you are using your home as collateral for this loan. It may not be a good idea for those of us who might be tempted to overspend when you have easy access to money. So I hope you found those tips helpful. And if you have any questions or comments, feel free to do so. I have my information in the description box. And if you're like me and you are on this journey to become financially healthy and to understand more about credit and personal budgeting, come on back here to Kish Talks Credit, and I will be talking about many different topics that are of interest to those of us who want to become financially healthy throughout the rest of the year, into the next, and for the rest of our lives. So again, this is Kish, and this is Kish Talks Credit, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.